Liberty Village, and the Clinton Community YMCA.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Dr. Hillary Stanifer is the superintendent of Blue Ridge Schools. Good morning, Dr. Stanifer. How are you today?
Good morning, Seth. Doing great. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for asking. Who do you have with us here on the Zoom call this morning?
Today I brought with me Brian Easter. He's our Blue Ridge High School principal.
Mr. Easter, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fantastic. Doing great.
Yeah, thanks for coming on and talking with us. Now, Dr. Stanifer was telling me before we got started, you've got some students that are doing some pretty cool things, and because of that, they're going to be headed to the Southwest this summer. What's going on?
Yeah, so a few weeks ago, there was a local, it is called Kidwind, and it was a turbine building competition. And so one of our teachers had some of his students put together some turbines to compete in that. And so that was a locally hosted event. Actually ended up being virtual because it was an e-learning day for everybody in the area back when we were having cold and snow and things like that. But anyway, one of our high school teams was the regional winner for that. And for that, they got invited to the world competition in Phoenix, taking place in May.
Cool. Tell me how Blue Ridge got connected with this effort.
Well, for the competition, for the regional competition, the teacher kind of heard about it. And I think last year he tried to get some kids to do it. We just didn't have time. Like, he heard about it too late in the game last year. Mm-hmm. And so he was looking out for it this year. And when it came through, he was excited to get one of his classes to be active participants.
Cool. So what kind of things did they have to do for this? Like, how, what was the lead up? I'm sure there's some lessons and learning that have to come up along the way. What did that process look like?
Yeah, well, in our area, we have lots of wind turbines, so that's a point of conversation in the communities, and so they have incorporated lessons like that into some physics classes and some energy classes and environmental science classes. So our kids are starting to hear a little bit more about that and learn more about those processes. Mm-hmm. And and just part of this competition was understanding how those things generate energy and where that goes and how that's all how that all comes together.
Sure. So when they get to the competition piece, what does that look like? What are they doing?
That's a fantastic question, Seth. I was not able to attend the competition. I know that there were teams of kids who worked together on building a turbine, and then they then had to present their turbine to a panel of judges and explain, here's our thought process in putting this together. Here's why this works, and here's the purposes behind this. So gotcha. I believe that was kind of the extent of it. The kids kind of explained what it was they were doing and got judged.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So their prototype is actually going to fly out to Arizona with them. So what they've already built will go and be part of the next level of competition. And I think what they'll expect is that, judges will come around and be quizzing them, asking them questions about their building, but then they'll go through other simulations there with other people. I think there's a group from Taiwan. Is that correct? That's coming?
Last year there was, I think the winners were from Taiwan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So pretty neat thing for us to be able to participate in.
That is cool. That is cool. What is the feedback, Mr. Easter, from some of your students? What have they said about this whole thing?
Well, they're super excited about the opportunity to just kind of go and learn a little bit more about this process and get to meet people from all over the world. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I mean, it'll be a great experience for them. Some of them have never been on an airplane before. Mm-hmm. So giving them the opportunity to go to O'Hare and fly out of O'Hare and navigate travels like that, I think that's a tremendous experience that we're able to give to the kids.
Yeah, I have to push back. I don't think flying out of O'Hare is a tremendous experience, but to each their own, I suppose, Mr. Easter.
Yeah.
No, but
I think on their way back, I think we have because of hotel arrangements, I think they're going to come in at like 3:30 in the morning on their way back.
Wow.
So, yeah.
No, it's 1 a.m.
1 a.m. 1 a.m. Hey,
So when we come
still
back
late.
here, it'll be 3:30 in the morning. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
No, but still, I was just kidding with you. That is a great opportunity for them. That's fantastic. What with this program, I'm curious. Is there a curriculum that is provided the district? Is this something that your teachers kind of have to put together on their own? How does that work?
Yeah, so I don't know that there's anything that's actually provided, but we've had the two wind farms that come into Blue Ridge area. We have, the first one was done by Invenergy, and this current one in Piatt County is going in by Apex. So all of those companies, they want to make sure that they're, giving back to schools and things like that. And so they can provide us with some materials. But yeah, Cullen Skurlock is the teacher for the Science of Energy class, and he's a real go-getter. So whether or not he was provided some materials from either Invenergy or Apex, he's going to go out there and see what else he can come up with so those kids can learn, a skill of trying to come up with something new.
That's
Turbines
awesome.
haven't been around, at least in this area, for that long, and they continue to change the specs on them. So we just need to think that our kids could be involved in some of that.
Yeah, that's
engineering.
awesome. Cool. I bet they're learning a lot. I mean, that's a unique source of energy, and for a vast majority of folks, myself included, I really don't know how they work. So it's got to be fun for them to kind of learn that and be on the front line of understanding that technology.
Yeah. So we're hoping on our April 16th board meeting that we'll be able to maybe get some news outlets here, have the kids present a little bit. Right now, we're just asking for the board to approve the out-of-state trip, and we're still doing a considerable amount of fundraising. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sure. Very good. Well, along those lines, Dr. Stanifer, Mr. Easter, did I miss anything that you wanted to put out there about it?
I don't think so, but I'll just keep you posted when we have, maybe that group would like to do an interview with you at some point when they get their presentation ready for April.
They're welcome anytime. That should be a lot of fun. Mr. Easter, how's the semester going? I'm sure. Are we coming up on spring break, by the way?
Yep, 2 days. 2 days. Not that anybody's counting. No.
Not that anybody's counting.
Yeah, no, it's been a really good year. I feel like here at Blue Ridge, and yeah, we had an influx of some new staff this year that kind of brought some good energy, and just really, it's been a great year, and I'm looking forward to seeing what next year brings.
Yeah, for sure. What's been like? Has there been a theme this year of whether it's students standing out with excellence? Is it just been a good group of kids? What's been the predominant theme from your perspective this year?
Now, that's a great question. I wasn't prepared for that one.
Yeah, I know. It was the kids, right? The energy stuff. Yeah, for sure. I thought I'd throw a few curveballs your way.
Yeah, I think just all in all, our staff has just done a great job of really supporting our kids, and we talk about engaging and embracing and equipping and empowering them, and I'm seeing more and more of that from our staff, and I think the kids feel it, and so it just the building it feels like a great place to be.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I would say from my perspective, I sit in the high school, but I'm not daily interacting like Mr. Easter or Assistant Principal Mr. Kirkton, but there's not the influx of discipline issues. The issues that we're having, everybody has. It's cell phones, it's the vaping concern, but it's not because kids are not getting along with each other. They're really learning how to, I would say, take care of themselves and, speak with a teacher politely if they have a question instead of, just going off and ranting about it somewhere else where a decision can't be made. They're growing in that area. And Brian's really led the charge with putting in social emotional learning lessons into the high school. I've never heard of another high school doing that, because you have to modify your schedule for that. But that's an important thing. And teaching kids how to set goals, teaching them how to not gossip, teaching them, the important valuable skills that will live with you way past high school, So.
Yeah. Mr. Easter, I'm curious. I hear from some of the administration I talk to, around the area about the impacts of COVID, whether it's an academic thing, whether it's a behavior thing, or like you were talking about, social emotional, awareness and those things. Are you seeing at all like the impact? And I don't know how long you've been at Blue Ridge, but are you at all seeing like the impacts of the decisions we made during COVID and how they're impacting your kids? Is that something you've taken notice of at all?
Well, Yeah, so this is my 4th year at Blue Ridge, so I came here right out of that, and I had been in Champaign previously, and they had a completely different approach to how they handled things, and so I saw it with my own kids who were in Champaign and the struggles that they went through, but not knowing what this population was like before I got here, I can't say for sure the cause of it, but yeah, there's kids that definitely struggle with different aspects of things. Kids got used to doing school from home. They wanted to. They're like, well, why can't I just do school from home like I used to do? And so having that kind of ingrained in them has taken a little while to get out of, and we're hearing less and less of that, but there's still some of it. There's definitely still some of it.
How about attendance and getting kids into class? Is that and Dr. Stanifer, you can maybe even speak to this as well. Is that a challenge in Blue Ridge?
Yeah, it has been. I think we're intentionally making sure that, especially at the high school, with the addition of a full-time assistant principal, Mr. Kirkton's really able to put some time into meeting with kids and just having conversations with them about what's the difficulty, what's holding you up from being here either at all or on time. So really hitting those numbers. That's part of our school report card that we get in the fall. So when you see something like that, you can't just expect one conversation, one letter home. That's not going to make a difference. You have to build a relationship with a kid. Sometimes it's incentivizing, sometimes there could be consequences involved, but we're really trying to establish those relationships so kids see the importance of being here. And like Brian said, it's a different, I felt like when I went to high school, I didn't really know my administration. They just kind of sat in the office. This team doesn't do that. They're out and about. They're engaging with the kids every day at lunchtime and in the hallways. And when you know who those administrators are, I think you're much more likely to be able to respond when they say, hey, let's have a personal conversation about how can we get you here more? You do better when you're here, you know?
Yeah. The only reason I knew my assistant principal was because he was the disciplinarian. So anytime he was in the hall, somebody was in trouble. Thank God it was never me. But anyway. Well, hey, Mr. Easter, I know I threw a lot at you today. I appreciate you rolling with the punches on some topics you probably weren't ready for. But that's really awesome about your kids and the renewable energy stuff that they're doing and the trip they get to take. Remind us when and where they're going, if you don't mind.
Sure. So they're going to leave May 18th. Right after graduation, because there's some seniors that are part of it. So we had to stay through the graduation ceremony, and then they're taking off from there and heading up to Chicago. Then they're flying to Phoenix, and they will be returning to us. Their last day in Phoenix is May 21st, and then they'll be flying into Chicago after midnight and getting home super late/early on the 22nd.
Yeah, so the quick trip down there then, not doing some sightseeing, it sounds like.
No, probably not. I think they'll spend a lot of time at the convention center there in Phoenix.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I don't know what sightseeing there is in Phoenix, but again,
there's
that as
there's cacti. There's lots of cacti. I think there's coyotes maybe and roadrunners.
Yeah. There's sun I hear as well. So yeah, very good.
There's javelina, that like the nasty looking pigs that just wander in the wild. At least in Tucson, there's javelina.
Oh, that's disgusting. Oh man, yeah. Very good. Hey guys, Mr. Easter, thanks for doing this with us this morning. It was good to have you on the program.
Absolutely. Anytime, Seth.
Yeah, for sure. Again, that's Mr. Brian Easter. He's the principal of Blue Ridge High School with Dr. Hillary Stanifer, superintendent of Blue Ridge Schools. Our guests on the Zoom today. We'll talk more with them coming up on the morning show.
WHOW.
FB.org. Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn, beans, and Chicago wheat steady. May corn up 2 1/4, 461. July corn up 1 1/2, 469 1/2. New crop December 454, down 1/4. May beans 10, 12 3/4 unchanged. July beans down 3/4, 10.25 3/4. New crop November 10.13 1/4, down 2 1/4. May wheat up 1/4, 565 1/4. July wheat unchanged, 582. May bean meal down 50 cents, 299.40. May bean oil down 16 cents, 42.39. Livestock market, March feeders 286.80, up $1.82. April live cattle up $1.30, 206.67. April lean hogs 86.12, down $1.47. Energy market, April crude oil down a penny, 66.89. And I'm Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network.
Good morning. I'm Helen Michelasi, and I'm running for mayor of Clinton. I believe our city has a lot of recreational opportunities for people of all ages, skill levels, and abilities. My experience in grant writing, program development and expansion, and leadership abilities will benefit Clinton. We'll develop a plan to enhance and expand the recreational opportunities in our city. Clinton is a great city, and when we all work together, we can move Clinton forward together.
Paid for by Michelasi for Mayor.
If the flu's got you down, the Warner Hospital and Health Services Walk-In Clinic inside Family Medicine can help you feel better fast. CEO Paul Skowron inviting you to make us your backup plan to better health. Find out more by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police splatter, weather forecast, and more. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Dr. Hillary Stanifer, superintendent of Blue Ridge Schools, my guest on the Zoom today. Dr. Stanifer, I know that the track project in Blue Ridge continues on. By the way, are we going to be able to use that this spring?
Well, this spring, no. This summer, yes. So our plan is right now they've done tons of groundwork, leveling and making sure that we don't have any issues out there with sinking. But we are already seeing the concrete curbs going around the track. We're probably getting ready to have the irrigation placed because our field is going to be grass. It's not going to be turf, but irrigation will be placed soon. And we also see the white rock that's coming in to be the underneath part. We were told Byrne & Jones is the company that's doing our work out there for the track. And we were told that usually it's about April 1st when the factories open up for the actual material that will make up the track. So we're getting close. They anticipate being done end of May. In my mind, I think end of June, just in case. So
what are your kids doing for track this spring then?
Our kids, since we have never had anything other than a cinder track, which has been in disrepair since they don't replace those anymore, our kids actually have to run and practice inside. So after school, with my office being in the high school, we have the hurdlers that are coming down and they're hurtling in the hallway right outside of my office.
I bet that's fun to watch.
Yeah, and listen to. Yeah, so it'll be such a nice thing. And we'll even have our junior high track kids being able to, they'll get shuttled over next season and be able to be practicing at the same time, and learn from the older peers. So
cool.
It's really exciting.
Where is where's the junior high at in Blue Ridge?
The junior high is in Mansfield. Okay. So it's actually our intermediate and junior high school. It's all one building, but it's 4 through 6 on one side and 7 and 8 on the other side.
Is it is it right off of 54 there as you go through town?
No, it's 150. So pretty much if you come off the Mansfield exit from 74 and head south, less than a mile, we're right there.
I'm thinking Bellflower on 54. Right? Yeah.
That's our community center up there. We'll have an activity there in April, but we have no active schools up there.
Sure. So the track progress moves along. Remind us, was that an expensive endeavor? How did the district come into this project?
Yeah, well, kind of. This is a full circle conversation, Seth, because so we've talked about COVID today. And the plan before COVID, when Susan Wilson was the superintendent, was that they had some drawings done and they were going to go on a fundraising campaign. At that time, it was projected to be a $1.1 million project. That's not as extensive as the project we're doing right now, but it was to get an 8-lane track in there. Of course, that came to a halt when it was new superintendent time for me and COVID all at the same time. So to be honest, I never thought that in my 5 years here, I'd be able to get that accomplished. But the next conversation we talked about today was the turbines. So the turbines actually provide, when they're in your school district area, they provide a great amount of increase in your equalized assessed valuation, which is one of your factors when you're figuring out how much local tax dollars you're going to bring in. So because of that, we were able to bond for $3 million to cover our track project, which will include our concession building and also our bleachers now too.
Gotcha. Sounds good. So a lot of exciting stuff happening out there. Now, do your kids, do they co-op for like football or anything, Dr. Stanifer?
Well, Right now, yes, we do with D-Land, and there's a lot of questions about, a lot of talks between both districts about, are there other things that we're going to co-op for? But yes, currently D-Land is with us for football.
Flag football, right?
No, we're 8-man football.
8-man football. That's what it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
8-man football. That's right. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So cool.
But we'll have a place where we're able to hold not only track meets, but we can have band competitions, and it's going to be very well used. For right now, soccer is not going to be on the field. We have a South Park in Farmer City, which is just a couple miles south of the main downtown area. We'll maintain South Park as our soccer area at least for the first couple of years while that grass gets firmly established on the field.
Yeah, for sure. Will there be like new bleachers, press box? You may have said that and I missed it. I apologize.
Yeah, so we were planning on just refurbishing our bleachers because the cost at first was looking prohibitive. But when a company came out to look at what it would cost to refurbish them, they told us, your bleachers are sinking, your home bleachers. So when we heard that, we decided that we're going to make the decision. The board decided very wisely, I believe, that we're going to do new bleachers. So we'll have aluminum bleachers out there on a concrete slab. So yes, that'll be part of our project, and that comes along with the crow's nest. So we've already done. For me, I enjoyed picking out, the siding and the roofing and the what the counters are going to look like and the flooring and the walls and all that kind of stuff. So we're getting ready to have a pretty spiffy setup out there.
There you go. Very good. Very good. Well, Dr. Stanifer, I got about a minute. What did I get to today you want to put out there for us?
Let's see. I'm excited that our staff is going to have a spring break coming up. Everybody needs a little bit of a break from each other right now, adults and kids. So perfect timing for us. We'll have a board meeting tonight, and then we'll be on our way after Friday.
Anything on the board meeting tonight we're talking about real fast?
Let's see. A lot of prep for next year, so nothing too earth-shattering, but
all right.
Yeah, just preparing for next year.
Well, enjoy spring break. I know you and I are down to our last few visits. This is kind of making me sad that this is one of our last few here, so I'm going to have to make the most of the ones coming up. But Dr. Stanifer, enjoy your final spring break, and we'll catch you in April. Thanks as always.
Sounds awesome. Thanks for being with us today, Seth.
Now, thank you for being with us. Dr. Hillary Stanifer, Superintendent of the Blue Ridge Schools, our guest on the Zoom Network News comes your way now on The Morning Show.